Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the DNA Sports Talk Show here on the Warrior Network. I'm Davis Gregory, and with me always is Andrew Cross. And today we're bringing you some college basketball analysis as we will be going down the top three teams in the country. And Andrew, let's start us off. So top three, if you did not know, number 3, Virginia, number 2, Duke, and then number 1, the Tennessee Volunteers. So Andrew, get us started off with number 3, Virginia.
Well, Virginia, they were, up until a couple weeks ago, one of the 2 unbeaten teams left in the country. As you know, they were the number 1 overall seed last year, and they got upset, an historic upset against UMBC in the tournament in the first round. But they are 19-1. They're 7-1 in conference, and that one loss coming at Duke at Cameron Indoor. I really think that this Virginia team is one of the better teams in the country because of their defense. They've given 53 points a game and 49 points a game at home, and that's just absurd. 49 points a game, that's very, very good. And offensively, they're not bad either. Kyle Guy is one of the better guards in the country at 15 points a game. And then future lottery pick DeAndre Hunter is averaging 14.7 points a game and almost 6 rebounds. So I think if they can bring that offense together, mesh well, they've got a nice group of transfers that came in from last season. I think if they can really mesh well and win those big games down the stretch, this could also be another Final Four team because of their experience and their defense.
Right, and their defense was their strength last season, but then lost their 6th man before the tournament started, or ACC 6th man of the year. Right before the tournament started, and of course lost to UMBC. But you're right, they have moved on from that loss, and it shows 19-1, 7-1 in the conference, is Virginia, excuse me. Now, number 2, Duke, probably the most talented team, I would say, in college basketball with Zion Williamson and RJ Barrett, also Cam Reddish as well. Zion averaging 22 points a game and RJ Barrett averaging 24 points a game. Mostly Duke is scoring from the inside. Their offense is a little sketchy, but their defense is on point as of late. This might be Duke's best defensive, or Coach K at least best defensive team, maybe ever for the Blue Devils, because Zion and RJ Barrett, of course, we have right here, Zion 2 steals a game, 2 blocks a game as well, and RJ Barrett also averaging a steal per game as well. This team is very good defensively, but they can really only beat you in one way, which is going inside. Rarely are you going to have them beat you from outside, but they still can do it. But Duke is a very, very talented basketball team. They just have to find out more ways to win basketball games, more than just the one that they have right now, which is just going inside the paint.
And like you said, defense, yeah, they have played well of late defensively, but in their 2 losses, they've been torched from both outside and inside. Against Syracuse, they gave up 91 points to a Syracuse team, which is good, but they're not competing for the ACC at all. They're a middle of the road, maybe bubble team for the NCAA tournament. And of course, they lost to Gonzaga early in the year in the Maui Invitational. And I think that like you said, they're the best offensive team in the top 3, and they have the most talent. And I really think that in the tournament, the one thing that could really get them and could be their Achilles heel is his experience and foul trouble,
right.
And just being sloppy on both ends of the floor, because they don't have, like Tennessee or Virginia, they don't have that tournament experience, but they are, all of them are McDonald's All-Americans. They all have the talent that Virginia and Tennessee don't have. So if they can get that, that experience factor down, and Coach K certainly can do that. He can get you, we're ready for tournament play come March, but still, I think Duke, when they match up against these teams, they've got to play well on defense, they've got to play well on offense, like they did against Virginia, if they're going to beat a Tennessee or a Michigan or some team like that has experience in the tournament.
Right, I think if Duke does meet a team with a lot of experience, but can match their defense and just play a little bit better offensively than Duke, then they'll beat it. But Duke right now, most talented team and a fantastic defensive team as well. Now for the number 1 team in the country, the Tennessee Volunteers. First time, I believe, in back-to-back weeks, the Vols have been ranked number 1 in school history. So very big year right now for the Vols. Last season was very good with Grant Williams and Admiral Schofield, and they've just gotten better as time's gone on, especially this season. Grant Williams right now is in the Wooden Award conversation for best basketball player in the country. He's played absolutely outstanding. Only lost was to Kansas, who of course did lose their center, excuse me, for the rest of the season. And if you really take out their center from that game, I believe Tennessee is undefeated right now. They would have been able to beat Kansas that game. And I'm going to make a bold statement right now. I don't think Tennessee loses another home game for the rest of the season.
Oh, of course not. Tennessee, they're undefeated at home, and I think Grant Williams fouled out with 2 minutes to play, and still Schofield took over and took Kansas to overtime, and that was, I think, Kansas with Azubuike, they are a top 3, top 2 team in the country. But right now they're slipping right now. They don't have him as he's lost for the season. Grant Williams leads the SEC in points per game. Schofield is 7th. You know, they have, I think, this is another bold prediction. I think they have the best bench in all of college basketball. They can rotate Eve Pons, Lamonte Turner, who was co-6th man of the year last year for the SEC, Jordan Bowden, and John Fulkerson, just all through that bench, which is so deep and so experienced. They lack the same intensity that they did last year on the defensive end, where every possession would result in a stop, it seemed like. But still, their offense is leaps and bounds better. I don't think they lose another SEC. Maybe they lose on the road against Kentucky, but this does not seem like the same Tennessee team last year that was blown out by Alabama, that, you know, lost to Loyola Chicago. I think this is a totally separate Tennessee team that has the experience. And like we said, Rick Barnes, he's not necessarily, I mean, he's a good recruiter, but he's not necessarily like a Coach K or a Roy Williams type of recruiter. But what he is he's a very, very, very good coach, coaching up players, making sure they stay in the program, and just an all-around, you know, fundamentals type of guy. And he has his team 19-1 with that one loss to Kansas. And I think that they can make a run all the way to national championship game with the way they've been playing right now.
Right, and I think as of now, I would put Tennessee as a favorite to win the national championship. They have the experience, they have the defense, and they also have the ways to beat the other top teams like Duke and also Virginia, which we also talked about. So really, I think Tennessee right now, Grant Williams is probably, for me, he is probably the best player in college basketball. I know we want to say Zion Williamson is. I'll give Zion Freshman of the Year, but if we're talking about sole experience and how, if you just want to take one game out of the season where it showed that he was the best player in college basketball, as of now, I'd put in the Vanderbilt game. 21 of 21 from the line. Admiral Schofield wasn't having the best of nights, and Tennessee still came out with the victory because Grant Williams did not want that team to lose. It was a fantastic performance from him. And also, on the nights where Grant's having an off game, you have to worry about Admiral Schofield. And then when Schofield's having an off night, you got to worry about Grant Williams. Or if you just have the worst luck of all time, you got to worry about both of them being hot at the same time. So as of now, I've got Tennessee right now as the favorites to win the national championship by far.
Yeah, Tennessee, I mean, I wouldn't say Grant Williams is the best overall player in the country. I have either Zion or RJ just because of the way they've been playing. You know, they're both highlight reels waiting to happen. But like you mentioned, experience, fundamentals. Grant Williams, he's not going to make any flashy plays. He's not going to get your Zion block on one end, slam dunk on the other. But he will give you those steals. I think he's one of the best passing big men in the league. And I think this Tennessee team, when he's healthy, and when when Admiral can shoot, when Grant can shoot, and then when Lamonte Turner's hot, he can be arguably one of the best shooters in the SEC. This Tennessee team is full of shooters, full of defenders, and I think that's why they're going to go all the way to the Final Four this year.
And also Lamonte, 6th man of the year last year in the SEC. Well, we want to thank you all for joining us for this special episode of college basketball here on the DNA Sports Show here on the Warrior Network. And make sure to look out for more episodes coming up soon, and we'll see you all next time.